Hi everybody, today we are going to be working on lesson 3.10 in our Go Math materials. So lesson 310 is about patterns with decimals, so we're going to continue to be looking at decimals, but we're going to change it up with what we're doing, okay? You are going to need page 207 through 212. Okay, page 207 through 212. You will need a pencil. If you'd like to use your whiteboard, you can. I don't think you'll need it, but if you want to bring it, go for it, okay? We are going to start on page 207. Please make sure that once you work through the practice problems that I give you at the very end of this video, that you go back and you do the Google Forms so that I know you've worked through those problems and you submit your answers. The other thing that you need to make sure that you do is if there's something you're not understanding, please come to office hours and just say, hey, Ms. V, I am not understanding number 2 on lesson 310's homework. Can you walk me through it? I'm available to do that, okay? Office hours are from 12 to 1 every day. You need to make sure that you are completing the math lessons as they are assigned, only because there's a lot, okay? Every day we do math. Just like if you were at school, every day we would be doing math, okay? All right, so we're going to be at the top of page 207 where it says unlock the problem. A state park rents canoes for guests to use at the lake. So a canoe is a type of boat. Looks like this one in the picture over here. It costs $5 to rent a canoe for 1 hour, $6.75 for 2 hours, $8.50 for 3 hours, and $10.25 for 4 hours. If this pattern continues, how much should it cost Jason to rent a canoe for 7 hours? Okay, so we're going to talk about sequences. So a sequence is an ordered list of numbers, okay? So it might be like when you count by. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's a sequence. It's an ordered list of numbers. A term is a number in a sequence. So that's just one of those numbers, okay? You can find the pattern in a sequence by comparing one term with the next, okay? So we're going to start by looking at these steps. We're going to be writing a rule today, and then we're going to be solving this problem and answering the question that it asked us. So step 1 says to write the terms you know in a sequence, then look for a pattern by finding the difference from one term in the sequence to the next. So we're looking at the difference, okay? All right, so for 1 hour, it's $5. For 2 hours, it's $6.75. For 3 hours, it's $8.50, and for 4 hours, it's $10.25, okay? So they've already started our sequence for us, okay? So they've told us, based off of the information that they got up here, what our sequence is. So what we need to look at is we need to look at the difference between each of these. So to go from $5 to $6.75, I have to add $1.75, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the next term, so $8.50. So to go from $8.50 to $6.75, I have to first subtract. So I'm going to do that in this blank space over here. I'm going to zoom out just a tiny bit. There we go. $8.50 take away $6.75, okay? And we're subtracting. Whoa, that was a squiggly line. Okay, we're subtracting. 0 can't take away 5, so we borrow. 5 becomes 4, 0 becomes 10. 10 take away 5 is 5. 4 can't take away 7, so we have to borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. 4 becomes 14. And 14 take away 7 is 7. And 7 take away 6 is 1. Bring down that decimal point. So to go from $6.75 to $8.50, we have to add $1.75. And I can prove that, okay? I can take $6.75 and add $1.75, which, if my math was correct, I should get $8.50. 5 plus 5 is 0, carry the 1. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 1 more is 15, carry the 1, 6, 7, 8, decimal point, 8.50. Okay, so as you can see, you have to add $1.75 for every hour, okay? So that's what they're doing. So it says write a rule that describes the pattern in the sequence. Add $1.75. Okay? That's how I get from one number to the next number. That's how I got from $5 to $6.75. That's how I got from $6.75 to $8.50, $8.50 to $10.25. I added $1.75. Okay? Now, step 3 is where we actually solve the problem. So, up here it said that how much should it cost Jason to rent a canoe for 7 hours? Okay, so they've got our sequence here. For 1 hour, it's $5, and I'm going to put the hours down below. For 2, it's $6.75. For 3, it's $8.50. For 4, it's $10.25. So for 5 hours, we got to figure out 5, 6, and 7. So for 5 hours, we have to add $1.75 to this number. So let's do that. We have $10.25 plus $1.75. And we add 0, carry the 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, carry the 1, 2, 1. So for 5 hours, it's going to cost $12. Okay? Then we have to figure out for 6 hours. So we have to take the $12 and add $1.75. We get $13.75. And that's for 6 hours. And then we have to do one more because we're trying to figure out for 7 hours. So we're going to take $13.75 and add $1.75 to that. 15, 5. So our answer is $15.50. So it says right here, so it should cost $15.50 to rent a canoe for 7 hours. $15.50. That's very tiny. I don't know why they make it so tiny. But anyway, $15.50 for 7 hours. So what we did was we figured out how we went from one number to the next. We put them in a sequence, and we got to 7 based on what they were asking us in the problem. Okay? All right, we're going to look at, let's see. I want to look at page 208, but I'm going to skip to the bottom where it says try this. Okay, we're going to be using this blank space off to the side because we're going to need it to solve our problems here. So we're going to look at part A first. It says write a rule for the sequence, then find the unknown term. Okay, so the rule is how we get from one number to the next. And then from that number to the next number, that number to the next number, you know, so on and so forth. So we're starting out with 65.9. And we go to 65.3. Well, we know that it got smaller, right? It got smaller. So let's take 65.9 and subtract 65.3. That's going to tell us what we subtracted to get to that number. So 9 take away 3 is 6. 5 take away 5 is 0. 6 take away 6 is 0. Bring the decimal point down. So we had to subtract 0.6 to get to the next number. Now let's try it and make sure that works. Let's take 65.3 and add 0.6 to that and see if we get 65.9. 9, 5, 6, yes. Okay, so the rule, since it's getting smaller, is to subtract 0.6. Okay, subtract 0.6. Then what we're going to do is we've got to figure out this blank here. So we go from 65.3, then there's a blank, then 64.1. All right, so we're subtracting because it's getting smaller, and we've already figured out what we're subtracting. So let's take 65.3 and subtract 0.6. And that will give us our missing number. 3 cannot take away 6, so we have to borrow. 4, that becomes 13. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. 4 take away 0 is 4. 6 take away 0 is 6. Bring down the decimal point. 64.7. Now, I can take that number and I can subtract 0.6 from it, and I should get 64.1. Let's try it. Subtract 0.6. 7 take away 6 is 1, 4, and 6. Yes. So we know our rule is correct. Okay? I want to look at part B because it's different and it adds a little bit of a different level. So it says to write the first 4 terms of the sequence. The rule is to start at 0.35 and we're adding 0.15. So the first one's going to be 0.35 because that's where we're starting. Okay? And to get the next 3 terms in our sequence, we have to add 0.15. So we're going to take 0.35 plus 0.15 and add them together. 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1, 3, 4, 5. So our answer is 0.50 for the next term. Then we're going to take 0.50 and we're going to add 0.15 again. Let's see where I got some room. 0.50 plus 0.15, 0.65. And then we take that number and we add 0.15 again. So we have 0.65 plus 0.15, 0.80. Okay, so that one's different because it's telling you to write the terms and it gives you the rule. Whereas on part 8, we had to write the rule and then figure out just one of the terms. Okay? Alright, let's look at the share and show page, which is page 209. It says share and show at the top. We're actually going to go down to where it says on your own because I want to look at a few of these. Okay? So for 5 through 8, it says to write the first 4 terms of the sequence. Okay, so this is just like the one we did. No, I want to look up here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm very indecisive sometimes about which ones I want to look at. Okay, so we're going to look at, I want to look at 3 because it gives us 2 different parts. So number 3 says to write a rule for the sequence. So how do we go from one number to the next? And then find the unknown term, which is this term right here where there's that blank. Okay? So let's look at it. We go from 0.3 to 1.5. Well, it's increasing. It's getting bigger, right? So we're going to take the term we know, which is 1.5, and we're going to subtract that smaller term from it. So let's take 1.5, take away 0.3. 5 take away 3 is 2. 1 take away 0 is 1. Bring down the decimal point. So now, because we subtracted, we have to do the opposite. So the rule is going to be to add 1.2. Add 1.2. Whoops, sorry guys. The light turned off. I'll just turn that on. Okay, add 1.2. Okay, so to go from this term to that term, we added 1.2. To go from this term to the unknown term, we're going to add 1.2. So let's take 1.5 and add 1.2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. Bring down the decimal point. Our unknown term is 2.7. 2.7. Okay? So all you're doing is figuring out how you get from one term to the next. Let's look at number 6. Wait, 6 or... No, let's look at 5. So number 5 says the rule, they give you the rule, but you're going to find the first 4 terms of the sequence. So it says to start at 10.64. So let's write that on the line, 10.64. And we're subtracting 1.45 as we go. So let's take 10.64 and subtract 1.45. Okay? 4 can't take away 5, so we borrow from the 6, and that becomes 14. 14 take away 5, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. 5 take away 4 is 1. 0 can't take away 1, so we borrow. That becomes 10, 9. 9.19 is our next one. Okay? Then we're going to take that number and we're going to subtract 1.45. You can just write it. That's what I would do. 9 take away 5 is 4. 1 cannot take away 4, so we borrow from the 9. That becomes 8. This becomes 11. 10, 9, 8, 7. 8 take away 1 is 7. Bring down that decimal point. 7.74. And we have one more term to find, so we have to subtract 1.45. 6, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 2, 6, 6.29. Okay? So those ones, they give you the rule, but you have to figure out the terms in the sequence. Okay? All right, we're going to go ahead and look at practice and homework, which is on page number 211. Okay, page 211. So on problems 1 through 2, it says to write the rule, then find the unknown term. And then for 3 and 4, it says to write the first 4 terms of the sequence. So you are going to do on page 211, number 2, 4, let's see, 5, 2, 4, 5 on page 211. Then on page 212, which is just the back, you're going to do problem number, let's see, 2, 3, let's see, and 4. 2, 3, and 4, okay? That's only 5 problems tonight, guys, because there is kind of a lot of work that goes into these problems because you have to find the rule, then figure out the missing terms and all that. So on page 211, oh, that's 6 problems, I'm sorry. You're doing 2, 4, and 5. Then on page 212, you are doing 2, 3, and 4, okay? Once you've watched this video and you've completed those problems, go ahead and fill out your Google form for your math homework and submit that to me. That tells me that you've done the work and that you've gotten your answers, okay? Have a great day. If you have any problems, again, come to office hours. I'm available from 12 to 1. I can help. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.